We're going over some awesome 2-card synergies in Commander this time.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, BZ, joined by Amber, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds, which means there's a video every single day. You can count on us, or else our names aren't the Nitpicking Nerds, and you can support us on Patreon like Bill Miller did, and make us basically just love you, but as much as we can without making you uncomfortable, so that nobody's feeling weird. And you get to support the channel directly and make sure that we can make it as awesome as possible and have Amber on as many times as we can.
You can support us. You support us directly, not just this channel. We're humans that need to live.
Amber needs to eat.
And eat food. We need to eat. Amber needs to eat. And Patreon helps us eat. It's
only Patreon money can feed Amber.
And as weird as that is, it is true that we do eat because of Patreon. Another way to help us eat would be to use our TCG Player affiliate link in the description below. Go there, starting with our link. All you have to do is click that link. Now you're on the website. Buy the cards you were going to buy anyway. Exact same price. But now the nerds are getting supported and you're getting the magic cards you were going to buy anyway.
Moxfield also puts food on our table because they sponsor our videos and they're actually amazing. And we're going to talk about them a little bit later. And you're never going to be able to tell when we're going to talk about them unless you hear our stomachs rumbling. But you will be able to guess the time code and be wrong.
Yes. Happy birthday to everyone whose birthday is today. Birthday cake. That's food.
Birthday cake is food. And we eat food.
Yes. All right. Today we have 2-card synergies. These aren't combos. So we're not going to be talking about things like...
They don't win the game, but they're like combos, kind of.
We're not talking about Gravecrawler and
Phyrexian Altar.
These things don't go infinite. They don't do anything that's like literally winning the game. They're just going to do really, really cool interactions because you played both of these cards together.
Like WOMBO combos?
Yes. Yeah, WOMBO combos is a great way. Let's WOMBO combo.
WOMBO combo.
So WOMBO combo number one.
WOMBO combo.
We have Taigum, Ojutai Master, a 3/4. When he attacks, the rest of your instants and sorceries for your turn have rebound, and your dragons, instants, and sorceries cannot be countered. Now that's the important parts of this card that we care about because we're going to pair it with the card Dovescape that says whenever anyone casts a non-creature spell, counter that spell, and they get doves equal to its mana value.
Notably, it doesn't say if the spell is countered, they get doves. They just get the doves. So when our spell is cast, countered, unable to be countered, the Dovescape just keeps going and we get the birds anyway.
Yeah, so we're going to be able to create a ton of birds while playing our spells that we want to play anyway. You can combine this with a lot of other things. If you can get away to like Elish Norn, that's a lock. You're going to pretty much lock out the game. Your birds are 3/3s, their birds are dead. So they can't really, they can only play creature spells from that point forward. And creature spells usually are a lot less interactive than those instants and sorceries that would easily wipe away your either your Taigum or your Dovescape.
It's probably one of the less fun WOMBO combos on this list, but I think it's a cool little synergy, and there's still many places to interact. It's not like the game's over.
No, yeah, like any Rec Sage effect. Any single Rec Sage effect will just stop this on the spot. Ravenous Chupacabra stops it on the spot. Sure, you can't play the instant sorceries, but they can't now too, so they're really...
Yeah, that's just a neutral Dovescape.
Yeah, it's a neutral Dovescape. All right, next, we have Seize the Spotlight. 3 mana, you give your opponent a choice. They can either let you gain control of a creature, so active treason the creature of your choice until end of turn, or they can give you a treasure and you draw a card. Now, this is obviously good with any sack outlet. So you can pair with any sack outlet, and that's a good combo. But where it's really special is Dargo, because Dargo sits in your command zone, and as you cast him, you can sack any number of creatures. Well, actually, not just creatures or artifacts. So if they say, okay, you can have my best thing, you take their best things, then you use Dargo to sacrifice them. So what ends up happening here is you play this card, get 3 treasures, and draw 3 cards because nobody wants to lose their best creature.
Yeah, it's funny that even if you just leave a single red mana open with this WOMBO combo, it doesn't matter what anybody chooses as long as they all have creatures, because if either you're going to get 3 creatures and you can pay red to cast Dargo and sacrifice 3 things, making them cost 6 less, or you get 1 creature and 2 treasures, that's still able to cast Dargo, or 2 treasures and 1 creature, or 2 creatures and 1 treasure, which is still able to cast Dargo, no matter what. So it's guaranteed your creature's going to die. There's no math you can do to get around it. And to give even less information, you don't have to target anything. And as soon as the spell resolves, you just take stuff. They don't get to see what you want to take.
Yeah, and obviously the card that says draw 3 cards, make 3 treasures for 3 mana is incredible. And that's what this card does. A solid, I would say like 90% of the time. 9 out of 10 times you cast this. Sometimes someone doesn't have a creature.
That's still great then.
Or they only have a terrible creature. It's like, sometimes it's not going to be that broken, but this card is still great. Combine it with Dargo, that's the WOMBO combo.
Yeah, whenever I cast this, everybody kind of just goes, Take a treasure.
Yes. Yeah. You just say take a treasure, draw a card. Next, we have Villas, Broker of Blood, who is a big old 8/8 flyer, and it has pay 1 life and pay a black to give something -1/-1. And whenever you lose a life, you draw a card. So however much life you lost, you draw that many cards. So you combine this with the card Reanimate, which is worded in the best order. Because what Reanimate does is it brings Villas back from the graveyard to the battlefield, and then the second half of Reanimate happens where you lose life equal to its mana value.
Well, how about that?
Villas sees that you lost that 8 life from the Reanimate that brought it back.
He'll be in play.
So this is bring back one of the best creatures ever for 1 mana, and then draw 8 cards. It's so good. This interaction is absurdly strong. I don't know. I don't know how you lose.
I don't know what you could do to lose this game at this point, especially since you're already playing 2 really strong cards. But like, for 1 mana, you get to draw 8 cards and lose 8 life. Like the 8 life feels a lot less bad when you're like, okay, flipping off the top of your deck over and over, and then you go, well, now I can't lose because guess how much mana you spent? 1. You probably have more mana now.
Yeah, now you have a fresh 8 cards to go with whatever was already in your hand. You could already have had cards in your hand. He's greed. He literally is greed, but also gives stuff negative. This card is so strong, and the reanimation. Oh my god, it's such a nice little interaction that I bet a lot of people, or at least some people watching this video, didn't know.
It doesn't look like you would get the life.
Yes, it doesn't. It would look like you just bring Velos back, lose the life, and nothing happens.
Right, but you get 8 cards. Let's go to the next WOMBO combo. This is also a mono black combo. It involves Marionette Master, which is 4 black for a 1/3. It's got Fabricate 3, so when it enters, you either get 3 servos that are artifact creatures, or 3 power on this thing, making it a 4/6. And whenever a artifact you control dies, somebody loses life equal to Marionette Master's power, which could be 1 or 4, depending on how you slice it. And we're going to go ahead and pair that up with Cranial Plating. It gives plus X plus O, where X is your artifact count. It is an artifact. It equips at instant speed if you wanted to, or just for 1 mana. So we're going to throw Cranial Plating on Marionette Master, and wow, we probably made servos because it's a free roll. And now every artifact that leaves, it's going to ding people for like 10.
Yeah, so obviously you're playing a heavy artifact deck here already, so obviously Cranial Plating can easily be giving, even just with Marionette Master before anything, +4 plus O. That's just the base. You didn't do anything. You played Marionette Master, you made servos, and you put this on. That's the base. And now you're playing a deck that just makes a ton of artifacts. Suddenly it's getting +10. Now every artifact dying is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. It's like
game over.
It's game over. This card can literally just drain people out and end the game. This is such a WOMBO combo.
Yeah. Cranial Plating is actually just great. I've been so happy with it. The fact that it can instant speed equip means a lot of the time they can't stop from taking the damage anyway. And with Marionette Master, it just hits like a truck. There's no stopping it.
Yeah, Cranial Plating is a very, very strong card. Like, actually, very underrated. And like you said, Marionette Master just makes it, oh, well, I guess you'll just die.
And this is a budget-friendly Wombo. Wombo Synergy, whatever you want to call it.
It is, yeah. Both of these cards are budget.
They're like 2 cents, yeah.
Yeah. Next, we have a kind of a double Wombo combo. The first one is Mycosynth Lattice, which makes everything in the artifacts. You know this. Everyone.
Here's the mean Wombos.
This is not a nice one. I mean, it kind of just wins, right? It kind of does. Not literally, but it kind of
It's up to them.
Mycosynth Lattice makes everything in the artifacts in the whole battlefield, including your stuff and their stuff. And Vandal Blast, destroy all artifacts you don't control. This is literally destroy everything you don't control.
All permanents you don't control.
So this is ridiculously over the top. The other combo we have is Enchanted Evening, which turns everything into enchantment. So everything has the enchantment type. Then Cleansing Meditation, which says destroy all enchantments. This would include yours, but this card has Threshold. So if the threshold is met, you return all the enchantments that were destroyed this way to the battlefield. Both of these are just make everything into one permanent type, destroy all that permanent type for your opponents, and keep them on your side.
Yeah, there's cards that destroy all enchantments your opponents control, but I like this one better because it's funnier. It lets you tap all your lands, and then they come back in untapped. And also, it doesn't look like it works this way, but what it would have to say is return all enchantment cards destroyed this way to the battlefield. If it said that, you wouldn't get anything back, but it just says destroy all things, return all things destroyed this way. They went to the graveyard as enchantments. They're back.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's so mean. This is not nice. Like this is not nice at all. It's like I'll just destroy everything you have. Like,
I never said I was here to make friends. I'm here to make Wombo combos.
Yeah. This is a Wombo combo. Next we have Elvish Champion. This is pretty simple. This one, it gives your all elves that you control +1/+1 and the Forest Walk ability. Now you might know this one. You might have seen it coming. You combine that with Yavimaya. All lands are forests. Therefore, all your creatures, as long as you have Elvish Champion, are unblockable.
Fun fact, Elvish Champion is just written incorrectly. It doesn't give itself +1/+1 Forest Walk.
Yeah, the original one is. It's erratic.
It just says elves get it, but they don't. Because I don't think this was an elf originally, maybe was what it was. But anyway, it's an elf that gives other elves +1/+1 Forest Walk.
Yeah, this little WOMBO combo is just like, end the game. This is, instead of, you don't need an overrun necessarily, because instead of the overrun, you replace it with this 3-mana elf that says, well, you can't block.
Plus you get a power boost.
Yeah, plus you get a +1/+1 power boost. Elves go wide. Like, this is just this little WOMBO combo is a way to run away with the game. If you didn't know, there's lots of ways to search up lands in green, especially with elves. Elves love
like Elvish Reclaimer, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, and there's also a ton of other things. Like, you got your Court of Callings and all the ways to shoot up creatures. You can find this combo so easily to get it going. One's a land. I mean, crop rotation exists.
There's no stopping it. It's just a land.
It's silly. Yeah, like literally, like it comes out of nowhere too, because like you play the Elvish Champion, like, all right, I don't have any forest. And it's like, Yavimaya, okay, now
you do.
Yeah, now you do. Now everyone's actually got forest. Game over, bub. I would love to see once from Elvish Champion the blowout to this.
Generous gift.
Oh, generous gift, beast within.
Keep us honest. Keep us honest, please.
Even strip mine when you didn't see it is even funnier. Because it's like, that's your mistake.
Or you want to take the best of both worlds, they crop rotation for strip mine.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, that is so good. Next one of my favorite cards of all time, Brash Taunter. It is a 1/1 that is indestructible, and when it takes damage, you deal that much damage to an opponent. And then it can tap to fight, but that's not what's important to this combo. We have Pariah. We put Pariah on it. Whenever damage is dealt to us, it's dealt to the Brash Taunter. Brash Taunter, indestructible. Guess what? We'll deal that damage back out. So if someone attacks you for like 50, all right.
They die.
You deal 50 to the Brash Taunter, and then you just direct it at whatever opponent you wanted to kill.
Yeah, there's no stopping us at this point. You basically can't die to combat damage. It's pretty sweet. I love that you're just like so shields up. And it's not a combo that is like lethal or even really affects them offensively, but it puts you on the ultimate defense. There's no stopping you with damage when Brash Taunter Pariah is out. And my other jankier version is I throw Imperial Archangel, which says the Pariah text of damage dealt to you is dealt to it, and then I give it indestructible. So damage dealt to me is just, it's not redirected, but I don't take anything.
Yeah, it's not quite as good as the Brash Taunter Pariah.
And it's harder to do because the Angelus Shroud.
Yeah, it's way harder to do, but Brash Taunter Pariah it's just a sick little combo.
All right, this is probably my favorite card from the new set. It's Venerated Rot Priest. And I'm talking about Commander because the first thing I think of is, well, it's a 1-mana 1/2 toxic 1. Whenever your creatures become the target of spells, you get to dish out a poison counter to an opponent, but it doesn't stop at 1. It just says whenever a creature you control becomes target of a spell. So if I cast Eerie Interlude, which is worded such that exile any number of target creatures I control, then flicker them, I'm always spending 3 mana, but I get to dish out poison counters equal to the number of creatures I have. And the same is true with Sway of Illusion, which is a cantrip, so it's kind of functional, and Fire Covenant, which is a really good removal spell, but I can just pay 1 extra life for each creature I control to just go with poisons.
Yeah, what matters here is you got the Venerated Rot Priest, and you have any card that says you can target any number of creatures, essentially.
Yeah, I don't want to pay mana. I don't want to, fireball my dudes. That's like such a waste of mana, and it's not worth it. It's not even a combo. It's just like, okay. But when you only spend 4 mana to give out like 20 poisons, it's pretty sweet.
Eerie Interlude is just the perfect card to think about, because Eerie Interlude is 3 mana, any number of creatures you control. 100? All right, the 100 creatures, I'll exile them all, and you'll get 100 poison counters.
Yes, it's not going to probably win you the game, but I think it will surprise somebody and kill them.
I think it's going to... It will win you some number of games. I don't think it's... like you said, it's not going to win you, I don't think it's going to win you the game from out of nowhere.
You're not going to have 30 creatures in play.
Yeah, you're not going to have all these creatures in play and just win. No, you might be able to, go, boop, all right, you were at 6, dead.
Yeah, but if I'm playing, Abzan or maybe a Trax Infect, and I have Venerated Rot Priest in, I'm taking out Teferi's Protection, and I'm throwing in Eerie Interlude for the Wombos.
Yeah, exactly. It's a better interaction. All right, next, WOMBO Combo. We have Goblin Sharpshooter, 3 mana 1/1, doesn't untap during your tap step. Whenever a creature dies, you untap it, and it says tap, deal 1 damage. So you can always pick off all the little 1/1s with this, but when we equip it with something like Basilisk Collar, give it Death Touch, now it's just kill every creature you don't control in play, and at the end of it, it's still untapped, so I dare you, play another creature, because I'll just tap it and kill that too.
Well, let's just go ahead and also gain 1 life for each creature we destroy.
Yeah, exactly. And so this card literally just turns into a Plague Wind every single turn until it's answered.
Static Plague Wind that requires an answer and already got you all the value.
It will get you a ton of value. This is obviously easily interactable. If they kill either one of these pieces, it doesn't work. But the Wombo Combo, when you get it going, when you play the Sharpshooter and you equip it with this, oh, the feeling is going to be amazing. You might get to kill like 20 plus creatures with this little combo. Maybe like it can go even higher. Like you said, every single creature you kill, that's one life. That's just gravy. That's gravy because we're here for the pew, you're dead. Pew, you're dead. Like, I love that he's the Goblin Sharpshooter, but he really sucks at shooting.
Oh yeah.
Because when he normally shoots, if he shoots at something big, it just doesn't do anything. But now you put this collar on him,
and he doesn't untap.
He is so good at shooting now.
Oh, he's so much better.
Like he is a sharpshooter at that point. When you
balances him out.
He
the weight wise.
Yeah, when he's like literally just like anything. It's like flooring collects. Just bring Goblin Sharpshooter with a Basilisk Collar the Phyrexia. Is that Elisnorn?
Yeah, she doesn't give minus power anymore.
Just kill her.
Get her.
Elisnorn's dead.
That was easy. Elspeth, we don't need Elspeth.
Yeah, well we didn't need. Well, it's a new Elisnorn, right? The old Elisnorn.
That's what I'm saying. She doesn't give minus anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't.
So she's. Just imagine that's how Phyrexia ends. Elspeth has a sniper.
Elspeth hires this guy.
Hires Goblin Sharpshooter to pick off Elisnorn from a distance.
And then they cure all the Phyrexians. Okay, next Wombo Combo. This is Eudora Gravegardener, which says your non-token creatures dying flip into forests face down instead of actually dying. And this is probably one of the best Wombo combos with this commander. You're going to play... Let's start with Proteus Machine. This is a hot garbage bulk. I don't even think it's a rare, it's just a bulk card. But it's got Morph 0. So, weirdly, how Eudora works is your creatures come back face down as a forest. So if Proteus Machine dies, it turns into a forest, face down, and now you can pay the morph cost because it's face down, which is 0. So, you get to make a little green mana if you want to, and then just, whoop, untap him. Well, unmorph him, and he'll be tapped still. And then if you have a sack outlet, well, things start to get a little bit friskier, and you could go infinite with that. But that's a 3-card combo. We're talking about just the 2 of them. It gives you like guaranteed board state all the time. Any board wipe or whatever, you're gonna get the forest triggers, and then you can unmorph all your creatures that have morph that are forests, including Den Protector, which is actually good. It lets you sack it, bring it back as a forest, then unmorph it, get something back. That's really cool value, I think. So Den Protector might be the official, and Proteus Machine is the spiky garbage card.
Yeah, I mean, it really what this combo is this any morph card. There's also, you mentioned Proteus Machine, but there's also the other one that says reveal a green card from your hand. That also,
the 3-1?
Yeah, that awful card. But like any creature with Morph, Mega Morph, either one of these abilities can just be turned face up. So now when this creature dies, your Den Protector, you get it back face down, you'll morph it back up again, and you can just keep doing this over and over and over again.
Yeah, I'm thinking Evolutionary Leap with this. I might look into this deck because there's some dirty things you could do with stupid morph creatures.
I mean, you can just win, but that's boring.
We're not going to do that.
Yeah, we're playing Eudora, we're playing morph creatures so we can flip them back up after they become forests.
Yes, of course. And cherries, there is a very, very spicy Wombo combo coming up. This is originated from my girlfriend's Door to Nothingness deck. And you were like, oh, you know what works really well with Door to Nothingness?
All right, it's Radiant Performer, which is a 5-mana 2/2 with flash. When it enters, if a spell has a single or ability has a single target, you retarget it to every single thing it could be targeting. So in my Zyra deck, which is where I first discovered this card, we attack. You get a trigger to put an A counter on. Well, I'll put an A counter on every creature that isn't my Zyra, which means when creatures die, I'm going to get a ton of things. Now the combo that we have here is awesome. It's Radiant Performer combined with Assassin's Trophy. Assassin's Trophy says 2 mana, destroy target permanent you don't control.
Convenient.
Its controller searches for a basic land and puts it onto the battlefield. But wait a minute, if we destroy 30 permanents, I don't think they have 30 basics in their deck unless they're monocolored. You're just going to get rid of players. You're going to eliminate players with this card because you'll destroy every single permanent they control. They'll get the rest of the basics out, but it's like, how many is that?
It's kind of like build your own Wave of Vitriol, except it hits basic lands also. Yeah, this was originally, somebody was borrowing the Door to Nothingness deck, and the door was exiled, and all the backup win conditions were exiled. And they found this, and I'm just like, ugh. And we died to like random 2/2s on the ground because we had no permanents. I think I ended up with like a swamp and a snow-covered forest, and that's what I had, and then we lost the game. Super funny, and there is a bonus misery-inducing one that will probably require the entire table to concede. You know what I'm thinking of with Rating Performer?
No, I'm not sure.
Chaos Warp. I would concede.
Oh my god, it would take so long to resolve.
I wouldn't even attempt to resolve that.
It does all your stuff. Like Chaos Warp literally does all of your stuff as well.
It could be 100 library shuffles.
I mean, yeah, it would be so.
And then you have to keep track of the permanents that come in play but are not targeted because they came in after we started doing all that. Yeah, that's pretty fun, right? Stick with Assassin's Trophy and win the game.
Yeah, that would be so dumb. And actually, like you mentioned, the Door to Nothingness deck, that was why this was put in the Door to Nothingness deck. The funniest thing you can do, use Door to Nothingness, which says target player loses the game for Wooburg. You target yourself. All right, I'm going to lose the game. Oh, wait, Radiant Performer. Trigger will target you, and you.
Targets everyone else.
All the other players that can be targeted, they all lose first.
And you win the game with you lose the game on the stack.
With you lose the game on the stack? Come on now, that's amazing.
Yeah, this is actually 2 wombo combos in one, I think.
It is 2 wombo combos for sure.
3 if you count Zyra.
Yes, and if you want to check out, we did an awesome gameplay with Beth and Ron, 2 awesome friends of ours.
I'd be willing to bet there's some wombo combos in that game.
There's definitely some wombo combos in that game. Peace out, Tribe Scouts.